Hey y'all. So we're 2 weeks into the events that occurred in Israel and Gaza. And as a communicator, it has been really wild, frankly, to see the trajectory of how we have consumed news over these 2 weeks. And I think my biggest takeaway as an activist, as a social justice communicator, is that we know how the old guard is going to communicate these events. They are going to use violent rhetoric. They are going to use urgency. They are going to use the values of white supremacy to try to instill fear and to try to push through things that are not going to solve the issue in the long run. So if we know that, then how do we communicate that going forward? Because this is not going to be the last time that something like this happens. And I think how we do that is we call out and see through the haze that they try to put over the incident. With our social media environment, it's really hard to get information out. And so people are like, I don't know what is real. I don't know who did what and what. I don't know what side to be on. And that's okay. When incidents happen, that is how it has always been. We don't know what's happening on the ground. But what we do know is who we are, and we know what our values are, and we know when we see things that don't add up. And so I encourage people in this haze of a media environment to really consider that when they're looking at content. We don't know what is disinformation anymore. I wish we did. We don't. We hope to do that. We need to pass legislation for that. But in the meantime, the ways that you protect yourself is that you don't let the urgency culture, the white supremacist culture take you over, and you see what does it feel like. I love humanity and I seek liberation for all. So when I see the incidents, I want to understand it from that lens. And so when I hear violent rhetoric, I question that and the incentive behind that. So that's just one example of how I try to curate my media and how I am consuming it, so that the way that social media is organized and the way white supremacy tries to trick us, we can push back against that. So I hope that's a good tip for the week.